Yeah, we'll continue. Rajni
Yeah,
ji?
you were saying that
Okay.
you were saying something.
Yeah, I was saying we get engaged in these worldly activities and the characters we play. So that's where we lose the being part. We get engaged in the character we play, which are many. There's this great master called Gurdjieff, and he says there are 4 levels of this. The first level is what he says: too many eyes. We play multiple characters. When we play one character, we are so engaged in that we think that we are that only, and then we get out of that, and when we try to do something else, again we'll play some other character. So it happens so naturally that we forget that you are something other than the character you're playing. So you get engaged in it so much that there is no separation at all when you're playing it. So it's like too many reflections in a pond. So then the next level is when you evolve from that level, when you do all these practices and the sadhana prescribed and all the circus. The circus is for this only. You evolve from that level, too many eyes, to one eye, where for example, let's say the easy one is, let's say you get angry, and when you are angry, it feels right to you, and you shout and you do all the things. Then later you regret it. The one who got angry is someone else. Then the guy who regrets it is again another guy. Then the regretting guy takes a decision that I'll not get angry. So this is wrong. And but next time again, when the anger happens, it seems right to you at the moment. Then again, it's the cycle. Or let's say you keep an alarm in the night, thinking that 5 o'clock in the morning you're going to get up, and you are so sure 5 o'clock I have to get up and do something. But when the 5 o'clock comes in the morning, alarms are going on, you'll switch it off, thinking that no, let's sleep for 10 minutes, or we'll do it from tomorrow, because it's the other guy, someone else. So all these other guys, too many guys who keep doing different things and keep doing different decisions, and you think that it's all me only. But all of those guys converge into one personality. So all the practices lead you to that level. Then that one guy is surrendered to the whole. It actually happens together. Whenever you converge into one, right, as that one gets stronger and stronger, he sometimes the ratio is different on each people. It depends on each one. But that one is surrendered to the God or the self or the being, whatever you call it. It's like the flower to the feet of the deities and all we offer, no? Like that they say. So that is the second level, where all the eyes converge into one. Then the third level is, once this eye is surrendered, there is no one there, but there is a feeling that there is no one. It's a little complicated to explain through words. It should be experienced, I guess. But still, there is a sense that there is no one. Somebody who says that there is no one. This is the third, and the last one is there is no one. To say also there is no one, that someone is also not there. This is the last level, he says. And the bliss part in Guruji's video, the Ananda part. This is for your question, Rajniji. To bliss to happen, the good example given is Krishna, Krishna's girlfriend, right? There is one Krishna's famous girlfriend. Can anybody suggest her name? Who is the famous one? Everybody's listening, right? Everybody can hear me, right? Hello?
Radha. Yeah, we can say Radha.
Right. Radha, correct. The Radha made inverted is called, it becomes Dhara. Radha, right? So that Dhara, which is essentially the Jivan Dhara, they say, the life energy, and that has to meet the Krishna. Radha has to meet Krishna. So the life energy, the Dhara, has to go to consciousness, and the meeting has to happen. And there's a name to this meeting. Can anybody say it? When Radha meets Krishna, something happens. There is a name to it, famous name. Correct. Rasalila. Correct. Rasalila. That has to happen inside, they say. When Radha meets Krishna, the real Rasalila that happens inside, that is the bliss. So whoever makes these stories in the ancient times, right? They are very smart. They think that somebody will figure it out later. So they make it in all these, what do you call those? Ogatu in Kannada. So this is from the technical perspective, that Jivandhara has to meet the consciousness, but to make it happen, that is the way which I explained earlier, the 4 stages. So this was Guruji's essential teaching in that video, I think. Please ask me questions.
Shoot.
Yeah.
So I think Rajniji, you are on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, Suryaji, you said there are too many reflections in mind. Now, what do you understand by that? Is mind different from consciousness, or they are one and the same thing? And if you separate it out, then we say the consciousness is beyond body, mind, and intellect. But then through this mind only, I get to know the consciousness. So how do we go about it?
See, I'm an actor, right? If you don't know, I'm a professional actor. I act in stuff, movies, TV also. So when I met Guruji, and in the beginning, let's say few weeks or few months only, I realized I am acting all the time. This acting stuff is going on all the time. When I come home with my mother, I am acting like a son to her, and then with my sister, I'm like a brother, big brother. So I order things and all. With my friends, I am something else. This character is changing all the time. Then we accuse ourselves also, saying that I am like this. I don't behave that way, but I am this. So this is the too many reflections I'm telling you, I'm talking about. I'm sure you also have all these different things, right? Do you realize?
We play the part. Yeah, the thing is that we just have to play the part, but not get into the part.
You get engaged in it. When you are playing it, there is no separate being part or the background in which this playing, acting thing happens. That is the problem. Yeah. But when your level rises, right? When you go one step backwards and the character is happening in front of you type. It's a metaphor I'm using. But you become the witness of what is happening. And that witness is never lost. It's there always. So when that happens, the actual revolution happens in your life. For that, the practices help. So then later what happens is this, your being part, your I part, right? Now you operate as this character. But later what happens is your I part gets shifted to the background itself, where you are witnessing to what is happening. You're witnessing to the character you're playing or whatever you're talking, or the happenings of your life. You are never engaged. You don't lose yourself into anything. So from there, the journey gets better.
Very nice.
And there, as you said, there is this consciousness part and the I part. There are no two there.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
any more questions for Surya ji?
Yeah, please. Ask. I'm not good at teaching, but I like questions.
So basically, like just being in the consciousness, I think so. We can ride this life very easily. It's just that we forget our consciousness, and that is the trouble. That's the start of the trouble.
No, when you get there, right, there is no riding this. There is no separate you to ride it out.
In the sense, the part which I'm playing, so that the part merges into the consciousness, and then the consciousness operates and not the part. That is the time when you merge into the consciousness. And actually, somehow I felt when we play the part, that is the time when I'm making the mistake. If I were in the consciousness and doing it, and then it goes, there would not be any mistake. The mistake only comes when I come to the part. So even at the societal level, if I'm just the consciousness, I would be amazingly beautiful. I will not have to come to it.
Yeah, everyone uses this word merge, but the merge doesn't happen like a merge. It just shifts. It's like switch off, switch on. And all the practices, all the circus you do, all these, why you are interested in this, everything, all the problem leads to one thing. Yeah. Can anybody tell me that one source of all our problems, issues, all these Arishad Vargas, everything?
Because it's
identifying with the body and the mind. That leads to all
it's ego. Yeah.
Exactly.
Another name to this
name.
identity is
identifying
ego
with
is
the
the
body.
biggest disease, which is root cause of everything. We think that we are here, we exist, and this is me. And all our dealings and business operate as keeping this as a basis, as a foundation to everything. When we get better and better, our level rises, right? This ego gets weaker, and this consciousness part, Rajni, you're talking about, that gets bigger and bigger, more and more. And it gets the ratio, the consciousness part gets higher, and at the end point there's a bit remaining part. That is the jump, that is the scary part, they say. But let's not discuss that one. But the root cause of everything is ego, and all the practices and the circuses is the removal of that feeling inside that I am. When that goes, what remains is the being part, and it's great to be. The bliss part, which everyone is looking for and everyone is searching for in their life. Yeah, when the ego dissolves completely, when the mind part disappears, this the mind part appears when this consciousness and nature meet. Our body is the nature part, right? And the consciousness part, or the Chaitanya part, which we realize that we are that when we get there. But until then, it's all second-hand knowledge. We have a concept in our head that we are Chaitanya. But you have to know it firsthand. You have to realize that, oh, that was not, this is, or you don't realize that this is, it is, that is me. So when this goes, when that only remains, then it's the great being. It's really, you know, that Guruji, I think, explained in one session somewhere that 1,000 part of that happiness, there is one level comes, and 1,000 times that happiness. So the end of all is the bliss. So it's not exaggerated, I would say.
Yeah. So, Rajni ji, can we ask, I mean, can you go ahead with your understandings on your video, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Namaste, everybody.
Namaste.
The video was, why do we need to understand Tattva Bodha, or why do we need to understand our essential nature? What happens, as it is all in continuation of what everybody has been saying, that when I interact so much with the world or the society, so my real nature gets hidden and I interact with my superficial nature, which is my form, which could be to do with my skills, with my form, with my gender, with my functioning, could be anything. Now, what happens when I interact with the society or at these levels, which could be at gender level, which could be my relationship level, I limit myself. I become very finite. So that is the root cause of the problem. I become very finite. But essentially, I am infinite. But not realizing that I am infinite, I take on to the human part again to become myself, become infinite, sorry. That is, I want to expand because that is my real nature. But expand, I have not understood that I am infinite, I am expansion. But the human part tries to expand through power, through money, through skills, and the desires become multifold because the being is infinite. Just because I've limited myself in the human form, I try to expand, and that creates a lot of stress. And that stress is the cause of many, many problems. So when I realize that I am that, I am the Satyachit Ananda, then I don't think so that I have to do anything. It just happens. And everything is, it just happens. It just happens when we reach that level. Any action of ours is infinite. Any relationship is infinite. Anything is beautiful. And as it is, there is no other. So when anything happens from that level, that beauty is tremendous. And I think so, it could be, I have not realized it, but the other person can see it from where it is coming, and we don't have to do anything for it. As the case with Guruji, he just sits. He gives us everybody, like whether I am ready or not, he's there for all of us. Like he gives. And that is how I take it, because it is coming from the consciousness. It is not coming from the body, mind, and the intellect. So the day I realized that Guru is not the form, and the day I realized the consciousness, everything coming from the consciousness, that is when the Patra starts receiving from the consciousness. Actually, we have problems because I am still limited. I still operate at the body, mind, and the intellect level. So that is the root cause of the problem. The day when I start saying no, 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 and I start operating from the conscious level, definitely the problems would not be there, or definitely they will start receding. It's my understanding. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Rajniji, actually,
Yeah,
though,
Rajniji.
the thing is, when you were speaking, some things like when what is Guru Tattva and how I have, started to receive from it. And this was all a very beautiful and profound point. Actually, this is something on a very experiential level you spoke, and it was very nice, to listen to this. Yeah, I don't have any
Thank you
questions.
so
Maybe somebody else has. Any questions for her, please?
Yeah, Rajniji. When we operate from a conscious level, it'll be beautiful and everything. It's all these things. Yeah, even I said it's not an exaggeration and everything. It is just to inspire you to get there, to do the practices more and strive for it more and more. But don't make it a hindrance. I mean, when you desire something, right? That desire itself is an obstacle in the spiritual path, right? So if you have an expectation about the goal, or if you have an idea or concept in your head that this is going to be like that or that level, it's not like that. Actually, it's there already and you have experienced it many times. It's just that you are not able to recognize it. And it's a essential nature of everyone. So it is not that something extraordinary happens which you haven't experienced yet. And until you get there, it has to be until you get there, everything you hear about, all the paths also, the teaching of the Vedantas, even Guruji's teachings, everything is second hand. It's they say, it's aparoksha anubhuti. So it has to be you only, and you have to get there and you have to figure out your own path inside. And as they say, I mean, there is no like Rajamarga or a properly made highway to get there. You have to figure out, because you are a unique piece in this world. There are different ratios of different things in you. You have to make a path inside to get there. I mean, the journey is, to say there is no journey, they say, but still there is a journey to get to that point, get to that level. So the practices and all the chestas you do are going to get us there. So that is the important part.
Yeah.
Non-stop, keep doing something.
Yeah.
Put more and more time in it.
Yeah.
Invest more.
Basically, what Gurudeva has said, that is getting that penetrating vision he talks about in the particular video. He talks about getting that wisdom. The vision is not the chakshushu that is in Kenopanishad. It's behind it. Yeah, the vision is behind. That vision of wisdom is what we have to understand, and this is a subtle understanding. This is a gradual shift. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. That's what Guruji has always said us. This vision can be got by these three aspects. And the Nididhyasanam, wherein he has prescribed many of the meditations. What these meditations are actually making us, if we go back to our school days, we had a tuning fork experiment. It's a very, I mean, basic
Right,
kind
right.
of a, example I could have ever given. This tuning fork, it's used to tune, right? So when you sit with yourself, you are basically observing yourself on the gross level, on the subtle level, and you go back and you contemplate on the teachings of Gurudeva. When you start to contemplate, you are an energy body, right? You're vibrating on a certain frequency. I mean, as you go back into the contemplation, you are vibrating at a certain frequency. This tuning fork is the meditation, the antar nididhyasa, the bahir nididhyasa, what he has taught, are making us more and more that is a tool which can receive the anahadnath. Basically, the anahadnath, to reach to that level, as you said, the dhara. To reach to that level, there are certain cheshtas, what you said. The chesta here is a very beautiful, tool given by the Vedantic Nididhyasanam, and it is a true blessing that, Gurudeva has given us in such a simple and easy way, but it is the most effective. When we start to sit with ourselves, we see how the vibrations are happening in the chest, in the hands, in the feet, and we see that what are the vibrations when I am in this blissful state. Bliss is actually an overrated word. It's an overrated word right now. But yeah. So you just go on assimilating on your frequencies, and you know that, what kind of frequency is most suitable for you at this moment, right now, in the now. And then gradually you are, going towards the Anhad. It is a process, as you said, it's a complete process, but the knowingness starts with the knowledge that Gurudeva has given us. It is the Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. And this is a continuous process. And nobody can ever say that I am done. Nobody can ever say that. So this tuning fork is already with us. We all should experiment this. Once in a week, we are ready with the discussions, and once in a week, I would request everybody, if we can have a group meditation on Sundays, it would be best, because that's what is prescribed. So I have summarized most of the talking today which we have done, and the best way to start implementing this learnings of Tattva Bodha are on our own self. We are the microcosm, and when we know the Vyashti, we are heading towards the Samashti. And this is the best way to dwell with the microcosm, is to start with our own self. That is the teaching of Tattva Bodha we are going to carry on in the coming sessions also. So I'm done with the summary of the 6 parts of the first sessions of this talk. So any more additions Indraji wants to make? She is okay. I'm okay. We have last 5-10 minutes, so that before concluding we can.
Audible now, right?
Yeah, you can please. We are running out. We are 10 minutes short, so you can please add on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What I said, the human and the being. Human is the superficial part of us, and the being is the essential part, that is the consciousness. So we forget this essential part of us, and we are more into the superficial part. So when the main thing is we have to focus more essential part, so we feel our life will be fulfilled. For example, like what Guruji says is, when somebody dies, we don't keep the body; we just dispose the body. So when the essential part in the body in us goes off, so the body is disposed. So the body is used as a instrument for the essential part, and the human part is always changing. Only thing not changing is this our essential part. That is, the Atma is not changing. And we expect stability in all our lives. Like, we need stability in health or wealth, or that is where the stress builds up. So when we when we focus more on this unchanging reality, we get the peace. And one more thing is, when we realize the Atma within us is same as that of Atma in everybody, the love builds up. And when we realize there is unchanging reality within us, the peace we develop. And that is the peace and the universal love is the spiritual path. And the understanding of this universal love and the unchanging peace is Tattva Bodha. What it is, what we are going to learn more about this, to understand both universal love and the peace within us. I think that's it.
Yes, Indraji. Thank you so
Great,
much.
Indraji.
Yeah.
We'll
Thank you
get
so
back
much.
to you for the next
Yeah.
week, and let us close with the with this prayer now. Asato ma sadgamaya,
Asato ma satgamaya,
tamaso ma jyotirgamaya,
tamaso ma jyotirgamaya,
mrityorma amrutangamaya,
Mrityorma amritam gamaya.
maya.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om
Shanti,
Shanti
Shanti.
Shanti.
Purnamada
Purnamadaha
Purnamidam
Purnamidam
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnat Purnamudachyate
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnasya Purnamadaya
Purnamevavashishyate.
Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Nanu Nanembudu
Nanembudu
Nanalla
Nanalla
Ideha Manabuddhi
Deha Manabuddhi
Nanalla
Nanalla
Satchidanandatma
Satchidanandatma
Shivananu Nane
Shivananu
Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham
Shivoham Shivoham Shivoham
Atmadarshanam
Atmadarshanam
Brahmadarshanam
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 Satyadarshanam
Satyadarshanam.
Loka samastha sukhino bhavantu
Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu.
Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu
Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu.
Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu
Lokaha samastaha sukhino
bhavantu.
Harihi Om
Harihi Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Harihi Om.
Harihi Om.
Hari Om, everybody. Thank you so much. It was a very wonderful and a very in detail and a very, I must say, a very profound kind of discussion we had. And I am really looking forward to more and more such discussions and sessions. Thank you, everybody. See you next week on the meditation session, please, on Sunday.
Next week?
Next week on the meditation
It's going to be
session.
every week.
No, sir,
Oh.
for the meditation session only.
Oh.
We are only having a meditation session, and next, that is alternate week, we are having the discussion.
Oh, okay.
One of the meditations for one ghatika, 45 minutes only.
Hari Om.
Oh, okay.
I would post the
Okay.
link. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sheetal ji,
you.
for coordinating. It was a
Thank you.
wonderful this thing
Yeah.
under your guidance. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Everything is Guruji's guidance. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Subala.
Hari Om.
Thank you,
Hari
Sheetal.
Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Hari Om.